Trump's lawyers were told to expect an indictment during the meeting this morning. However, Trump and a spokesman are disputing that.
Trump received a letter from Smith's office last week saying he's a target of the investigation. That letter outlined 3 federal statutes: deprivation of rights under color of law, conspiracy to defraud the United States, and tampering with a witness.
New reporting indicates that Donald Trump's indictment in the case involving his attempts to overturn the 2020 election is imminent, although it seemed as though it was going to happen today. So far, no word on that. However, as you heard in that video, Donald Trump's legal team did meet with Jack Smith, the special counsel investigating Trump in this particular case, and here are the details. So Trump attorneys Todd Blanche and John Lauro were meeting in Washington with prosecutors from special counsel Jack Smith's office Thursday morning, and that's according to 3 sources with direct knowledge of the situation. Members of the grand jury hearing evidence in the case were seen arriving at the federal courthouse earlier in the morning. Now, as was also mentioned in the video that you watched, Trump is denying that there's any indication that his indictment is imminent in this case. And he also wrote about this meeting that his lawyers had on Truth Social, claiming that, quote, "My lawyers had a productive meeting with the DOJ this morning, explaining in detail that I did nothing wrong. I highly doubt that's what happened. Was advised by many lawyers and that an indictment of me would only further destroy our country. No indication of notice was given during the meeting. Do not trust the fake news on anything." So, Cenk, thoughts on this? Do you believe that an indictment in the 2020 election case is imminent?
It certainly looks that way. So you wouldn't send the target letter unless you were going to indict him. And Trump's team meeting with Smith's team ahead of time is very normal, but nothing's going to come out of it, because normally you'd be talking about potential plea deals, but I can't imagine that they would do a plea deal here. I don't know what they would plea for. I don't know what Trump would accept. I can't think of a single thing that Trump would admit to doing wrong. And by the way, that doesn't mean that Trump would never do it. He has admitted to doing things wrong and making cases go away before. Remember the $25 million fine that he paid. In fact, in 2 different scams, he agreed that he was guilty and paid fines. That's Trump University and the Trump charity, right? But this is a criminal case, and it's a very, very important one, both for him personally, but also politically. So I don't know what the meeting was about, but it is overall fairly routine. It almost certainly is going to get indicted. The only question that remains, guys, is how quickly can these cases go? Because the Trump-friendly lawyer in the most important one, the documents one, well, you could argue that actually this one, the January 6th one, is the most important, because this is the mother lode. This is about the coup that they tried with the fake electors, right? But the national security one with the documents is the most clear-cut case, and it's very severe crimes that he committed. But unfortunately, that judge pushed it out till past Super Tuesday. So it's unclear how much it's going to affect the primaries. And for the cases, they shouldn't take that into account. But for the rest of us, it is enormously relevant.
So there are some updates on the other investigations that Donald Trump is facing. Remember, he is also facing charges. He was indicted on 37 criminal counts related to his handling of classified documents. He pleaded not guilty to all 37 counts. However, there's an update to that investigation because, as ABC News reports, Donald Trump and 2 others are facing additional charges in special counsel Jack Smith's investigation into Trump's handling of classified documents. The charges have come in a superseding indictment to the original charges in the case. So this could mean that Trump could face additional charges in this particular case. Now, one of those charged is Carlos de Oliveira, who is a current Trump Organization employee who is also the head of maintenance at Mar-a-Lago. We'll see what the additional charges will be, but that story is developing as we speak. It literally just broke.
Yeah, so some of the key things here in both cases. In the documents case, Walter Nauta is his main assistant basically at Mar-a-Lago. If he turns on him, Trump's in a lot of trouble. If he stays with Trump, he might be okay. No, probably not. That case is super solid, right? But Nauta would be a nail in the coffin. But if he wins the election, he could just pardon himself. So that's because that's a federal one. This is also federal. And in this January 6th case, the potential giant witness could be Mark Meadows, his former chief of staff. No one's heard from Mark Meadows in a long, long time.
That's a good point.
And there was a little bit of talk about him giving testimony, and it was not clear whether he got an immunity deal, whether he's gonna flip on Trump or not. It's like the best kept secret in America. But if Meadows flips on him in this case, that could be problematic because Meadows knows they were gonna do the fake elector scheme. Meadows knows that Trump said that it was no big deal if Mike Pence got murdered, that he deserved it.
I mean, Meadows wrote about this in his book, didn't he?
No, Navarro wrote about it in his book.
Oh, that's right, that's right.
Meadows has been in a witness protection program since the Trump presidency ended. So we'll see. Not literally, by the way, just in case you're wondering. But he has been hiding out, and it's weird how no one's talking about him. So I wonder if they already flipped him and they're trying to keep that ace in their pocket, but that's speculative.
Look, honestly, the circus that has kind of developed in American politics is concerning, right? So like you have the head of the Republican Party, still the head of the Republican Party, Donald Trump, looking ahead toward yet another indictment on another case, and that's of course having to do with his attempts to overturn the 2020 election. You have the other two issues, right? The hush money payments. Then you also have the issue with his handling of classified documents. Then you look at Republicans in Congress, like Marjorie Greene, printing out giant props of Hunter Biden naked, right? To show during a House hearing. Like, can we where are the adults? Like, are any competent people left?
Well, no, of course not. And remember, look, I write about this in my book, Justice is Coming. As recently as a couple of election cycles ago, 95% of the time, the candidate with more money wins the congressional elections, okay? So what that means is, and it used to be 97%. So what that means is, even if you're in the 3 to 5% who are honest, and you won, they're gonna come for you over and over and over again. And eventually, the ones who keep taking the money and doing the wrong things are going to dominate in this system. And they are dominating. So that's why nobody's trying to pass any laws, because the laws would help you. The only laws that they pass are to help corporations and the wealthy. And you see it over and over again. Now, the Republicans are brazen. They do it 24/7. They've never passed, they're not even trying to pass a single law that would help the average American. If you challenge them on it, they don't even have one. They're like, oh, well, if we help the rich, well, eventually they'll trickle all over you or something, right? That's why we did the IRS, trying to take away the IRS agents first, because they were gonna audit only the rich. And we can't have that, those are our top donors. That was their #1 priority. But the Democrats, they play a game too, where they give you 10% of what you want, and then go, okay, it's all mission accomplished.
10%,
right?
That's cute.
And then the media come in and go, historic, oh my God, the Democrats are fighting for you. And then they high five behind the scenes.
So some more developments in the investigation into Trump's handling of classified documents. So he's facing 2 additional charges. Was charged with 1 additional count of willful retention of national defense information, and I apologize. And in addition to that, 2 additional obstruction counts related to alleged attempts to delete surveillance video footage at his Mar-a-Lago resort in the summer of 2022.
See, that's important too, because that is clearly a crime and super easy to prove. And they wouldn't charge it unless they already had the evidence. This is a very careful prosecutor, right? So, look guys, the giant question here is, if Trump gets convicted, what happens next? Is he actually gonna go to prison? That seems inconceivable, inconceivable. So, okay, so are we just gonna be like, yeah, he's guilty and we all know it, but who cares? He's not gonna go to prison, there's gonna be no consequences, and he's gonna run for president and he might win the presidency, and then he pardons himself and he can commit any crimes he likes and then pardon himself, commit crimes, pardon himself.
I gotta jump in.
And we're all okay with that?
I gotta jump in. What's so incredible is Hunter Biden did commit tax crimes. And so his plea deal fell apart yesterday in court. And the plea deal, at least as far as he and his legal team understood it, was that if he pleads guilty to the tax crimes, they will drop a DOJ charge against him in regard to possession of an illegal firearm, okay? And he would serve no time behind bars if he took that plea deal. Republicans were furious about that because they demand that he serve time behind bars. Now look, he committed a crime, and if I were to avoid paying my taxes, especially if I've been making millions and millions of dollars, I don't know if I'd end up in prison, right? But I certainly wouldn't get any special treatment. Ordinary people would not get special treatment. So I hear the GOP out on that. However, they provide cover for all of Trump's criminality, regardless of what he does. It doesn't matter what he does. Handling of classified documents, who cares? Who cares? Let's try to find a hollow whataboutism comparing Trump to Biden, even though Biden handed over documents as soon as he realized he was in possession of them.
Whataboutism goes both ways.
Right.
So and I dare any Republican to answer this honestly. There's no way in the world they will. Not one, okay? What if Biden had done the same things Trump did? Would you want him being prosecuted or not? And you know you would. So go ahead and lie to yourself if you want, okay? But we all know it and you know it. Biden took home documents. He didn't take home top secret documents. He didn't stuff them in the bathroom and etc. And much more importantly, when he found the documents himself, turned them over. When the FBI said, hey, Mr. President, we know you have documents to Trump. He's like, oh, no, I don't. Why did he lie to the FBI?
He lied to his own attorneys.
If Biden lied to the FBI like that and hidden the most top secret documents we have, including about our nuclear programs and about the nuclear programs of our allies, you guys would want his head on a stick. And you know that. And you know that. Imagine if Biden came up with a scheme of having fake electors that when he loses an election, he just puts in the fake electors and says he won.
Can you imagine?
And Kamala Harris is his vice president. She goes, no, I'm going to recognize the fake electors and not the real electors. You guys would have civil war. You would be so mad. You would commit massive violence, okay? And you all know it. You all know it, right? But when Trump does it, oh, that's my daddy. That's my daddy's. I'm a little baby, so I'm gonna let my daddy commit every crime and not do a goddamn thing about it. Try to be an American for a change, okay? We believe in democracy. Well, I don't know what you guys believe. Why don't you guys move to Saudi Arabia? Trump loves it so much, you guys can all move there. Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.